switching over here, and so that it's not a super quiet podcast. Or, well, it's not a podcast. Though it may as well be. UFO 50 is currently 15% off. Go buy it if you haven't. All right. There we go. So, I thought about doing custom tiers for this, but I wanted it to be kind of a quick and easy thing, and this was already on Tier Maker. So, these are arranged in order. Some ground rules on tier listing. First of all, your feedback and opinions are welcome and will not be considered. This is my list. Also important to note, this is going to be based on my personal enjoyment with them. However, I am going to try to be objective with some of them that deserve it. For instance, I think that Night Manor is a good game, but I can't stand horror. So, like, I didn't enjoy it, but I can recognize that there was good stuff there, so it's not fair for me to put it on the bottom tier just because it was a genre mismatch, when I think it's still probably a good game if you like that sort of thing. Also, for games with multiplayer components, didn't play them, can't speak to them. So, with that being said, Barbuta. One of the least polished games, and for good reason. I really like La Mulana. And it gives me La Mulana. It's a very specific vibe that meshes with me. And I think that it's probably not a lot of people's favorite game. And it's not I wouldn't call it one of my favorite games, but I do have a soft spot for it. It pulls off what it goes for really, really well. A tier. Yeah, La Mulana is like one of one for a reason. Even its own sequel had a hard time recreating its vibes. Oh, something else. I am going to put some things on D tier. Every game in this collection, with maybe one or two exceptions, is pretty damn good. So we are grading this on a curve. Hang on, I'm changing the... I'm not going to change the category from UFO 50 because it is still basically UFO 50. So yeah, I'm grading these on a scale. Things that are C tier here are still probably like 7 or 8 out of 10. But it's relative to the quality of the rest of the collection. Bug Hunter. Honestly, I have seen some people really not jive with Bug Hunter. I liked Bug Hunter a lot. I want to put it in S tier. I don't think I'm going to. And the only reason for that is because I have not wanted to go back to it. I had a lot of fun with it, but there's nothing pulling me back in being like, oh, we gotta go play more Bug Hunter. I thought I would feel that way, but the rest of the collection has like really scaled up away from it. Also A tier. Ninpek is fun. Very simple, arcadey, straightforward, like, scrolling platformer type of deal. The movement is fun, the shooting is fun, the concept is great, but there's not really that much special to it. It's just kind of a fun little simple platformer. I'm gonna give Ninpek B tier for now. Paint Chase is fine. I think that Paint Chase, I like the concept of it. It does develop the concept really well. There's maybe too much of it, and it's really punishing to get through. Some of those later stages get really hard to manage, and it's not super fun to go through, like, the whole extent of everything, so I'm gonna give it C tier. Magic Garden. Also C tier? It's fun. It's very one note. Like, it's alright. I liked playing it. But it really is just the one thing you're doing. It's a cute little puzzle game, but there's not that much to it. Yeah. Mortal 1, S tier. Mortal is awesome. It really, like, it kind of stresses me out. I want to give this its tier list ranking right now, but we're gonna wait. Yeah, Mortal is a great concept, well executed. The idea of, like, the number ticking down over time is stressful to me, but it's saved by the fact that you can redo those stages to be more efficient. And I think that rules. Velgris? I'm gonna put Velgris on A tier. That one is also, like, simple in one note, but it has so much fun movement tech to it. And so much, it's got one of the best, examples of game feel in the whole collection. Especially in the early ones. Shit. Planet Zoldath has that kind of, like, classic adventure, like, classic, like, PC adventure game kind of feel to it. However, I didn't really enjoy playing it. There's not a whole lot of actual stuff that I wanted to come back and do. It's cool that it's procedurally generated and all, but I'm gonna D tier this one. I may reconsider it later. It may be... Yeah, that's fair. My list, my preferences. Your mileage may vary. Shit, I really liked Tactics. Tactics is going S tier. I'll put Zoldath in C. There was stuff, there was good writing in that. There was stuff about it that I did like, actually, the more I think about it. A Tactics, I'm putting in S tier because even though I haven't wanted to go back to it, it is one of those games where when I was playing it, I was just smiling ear to ear. I enjoyed my time with Zoldath, but the thing that I have to keep coming back to is, like, with maybe one or two exceptions, I loved every game in this collection. So, like, things that are going on D tier are, like, fucking pin golf. Yeah. Like, D tier is bringing us down to, like, the 7 out of 10 tier. Maybe a 6.5 here and there. So, like, it's a narrow range that we're ranking within, but I have to rank them relative to one another, otherwise C and D tier are going to be empty. And frankly, I just kind of found this on the fucking tier maker already pre-done. And I was like, I'm just going to do this at the end of stream real quick. So I didn't put that much effort into it. So yeah, I'll bring Zoldath up to C. There was some stuff that I liked about it. How much am I weighing the authenticity and limitations as a factor of enjoyment? It really depends on whether it is emulating a style that I like. So, like, if I wasn't taking into account that Barbuta is basically like a Commodore 64 platformer, but because I understand what it's going for and I appreciate that, it's an A tier for me. So it really is like, it really is on a personal, it really is on a personal preference for me. Yeah, a Tactics was a game that I was just smiling the whole time I was playing it and having a great time and wondering why I'd never seen a game like that before. Also, Mortal, though. One of the first games in the whole set of 50 where the music started going hard. Devolition. Clever, fun, very enjoyable. I almost want to knock it down because the cherry was annoying, but I don't think that's a fair way to grade. Of the, like, strategy and puzzle and tactics type games in the collection, I don't think I liked it as much as some of the other ones. I really liked it a lot at the time, but I think other games did similar things better. I'm gonna give it B. I'm gonna give Kick Club a B as well. I actually personally liked it, but it got, like, really frustrating towards the end for me. And it's some of these games where their inspiration's on their sleeves more than others. Some of them are like pulling inspiration from something and then doing something different with it. Kick Club is kind of just doing bubble bobble with a soccer ball. And don't get me wrong, it was fun as hell, but there's just not that much that was super special for me. So it's a solid B. Holy shit, Avianos S tier. Like, I will go back and play that right the fuck now. 100%. Mooncat's a really difficult one. Mooncat's a really, really difficult one. Avianos is apparently doing, like, Civ 1, and I never played Civ 1, but Avianos was really fun to play, but it also had one of the most intimidating openings where you hit start and it just shows you a fucking map and you don't know what the fuck is going on. And it was one of the most fun, like, just hit buttons and see what everything is experiences in the whole set. No scaffolding whatsoever. Fucking go. Mooncat almost does deserve its own tier. It's so weird, and it's so unique, and it's so weird. I don't know where to place it because I'm charmed by it. I'm also sort of off-put by it. I guess I gotta B tier it. Cause I don't know where else to put it. I didn't love it, but I was really intrigued by it. Bushido Ball, this is one of many games in the collection where I think my ranking of it is going to be hurt by the fact that I didn't play anything multiplayer. This feels absolutely like an S-tier multiplayer experience. However, as a single-player experience, also S-tier. I like Windjammers. They did a Windjammers. That's easy. Alright. Block Koala is 50 Sokoban puzzles, and Sokoban puzzles are fine if you want Sokoban puzzles. I'll give it a C, because the puzzles are legitimately good. There are too many of them, and they do get annoying, but it's a good way to do it. You have undos. It's not super punishing. Block Koala is also the only game that I played most of off stream. Because I did the first probably 10 or so, and I was like, nobody wants to watch me do 40 more of these. See, I think that's fair. The fact that the gold requirement is 40 and the cherry requirement is 50 makes no sense. No sense. The gold can be like 20 to 25 and the cherry can be 50. Even 30 would have been better. But it's like you basically have done all of them anyway, so why would you even stop? Camouflage was great. I wanted there to be more of it. Really, really fun idea. Banjo-Kazooie! Yeah. No, I played Banjo-Kazooie on the channel last year, I think. Maybe 2 years ago. It blends together. Yeah, Banjo, like, any of those games where you're doing, like, collecting the same things or doing the same things, like, at a certain point, it's like, yeah, it's nice that there's more of these, but, like, I've already done 75 Sudoku puzzles, so, like, how much do I really want to do 25 more? Camouflage is an A tier if there's more of it. I liked it a lot, but I'm gonna knock it down to B because it's just too short. That D tier is too empty. Yeah, I said it. You know what I realized about Paint Chase? I was being nice to it, but when I was going in and doing the prototype Paint Chase in the metagame at the end, I was like, oh god, it's fucking Paint Chase. And then I realized that I don't like Paint Chase. Alright, so Campanella. I like Campanella. I had a lot of fun with Paint Chase when I played it, and I thought the concept was really good. I didn't like necessarily all of the ways that they developed those concepts, and I found it way too punishing to try to get through. Some of those things you lose control and contain on some of those stages, and it overwhelms you if the first 5 seconds of a stage are off. Yeah, that's fair. I think what we're finding is that, like, the authenticity of the era is not really as strong. Ah, yeah! Love that jingle. I don't know where to put Campanella. I don't know where to put Campanella. I really like the ship, like, flying mechanics, the control. I like the hover control a lot. I thought it was really responsive. That's like one of my favorite aspects of it. Yeah. It's actually the level design in Campanella that I have a problem with. And some of them are more clever than others. I think that, like, I think that Campanella 1 annoyed me because of the way it does some of the, like, hidden coffee stuff. But again, I shouldn't be putting cherry clear conditions into this, but that was kind of the thing that stood out to me. I think I'm gonna put Camp 1 in C tier. I'm not confident about that. I'm feeling B tier, but I don't want to load B tier up too much. Golfaria is C tier for me. I love the idea. Do I think Campanella would be a smash hit if it existed in our world? I think that Campanella as an arcade game with a unique control scheme would be awesome. I ended up liking Golfaria, but it is annoying to get around in that game, and I wish you had more control, like, during a shot. Even if it was just like a Kirby's Dream Course thing, where you can kind of, like, pulse the ball or try to curve it a little bit. Hey, Guri, it's my turn on the brain cell. I love the concept, but towards the end of it, I found it kind of annoying to play. But I really... Now, you know what? It does deserve a B tier. Because it is a really, like... I have to bump it for the concept alone. Getting around and finding where shit is annoying. Yes, please give me a map. But again, a lot of these, I think my opinions of them are colored by the last thing that I did with them, which is grinding for the cherry. And that annoyed me, but I do actually think that the experience of just going around regularly was pretty fun. And the idea of having like a stroke limit was, yeah, you know what? Yeah. Golfari is good. C tier is too low for it. Bell Race? I'm dropping Bell Race in D tier. The Big Bell Race does not need to be its own game. You could have... There just isn't anything there. If you had made that the multiplayer, if you had made that a multiplayer or race version in Campanella 1, no one would have blinked. Like, my playtime in Bell Race is like 11 minutes. I don't think the UFO 59 has the same ring to it. But also, there are 51 things here already, so you could still have called it UFO 50. Warp Tank is an easy S tier. The music slaps. The concept slaps. The level design slaps. Hard S. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, Big Bell Race is just, you're flying the Campanella ship, but in a circle. In a circle against other ships. As, like, and... I don't know if the feelings that I have associated with this song are good or bad. So, like, it's fun. Big Bell Race is fun because, like, you get to control the Campanella ship, and I think that's good. But it's just so nothing, and it's way too easy. Like, I cherried that in one go and, like, lapped all the other ships, like, 3 times. Like, there's just nothing. Warp Tank is the shit, though. I loved Warp Tank. Waldorf's Journey is, like... It's cool because it's weird and interesting. But also, it's a mobile game. Like, you could play Waldorf's Journey on your phone right now. While you're on the toilet, and it would not be out of place at all. It's just... It's fine. It's fine. It's C tier is fine. C tier is fine. Yeah! Oh, fuck! One of my favorite tracks in the whole 50. Again, no visibility whatsoever on what multiplayer looks like on any of these. So that is not taking any... That's not taking any place in this determination at all. I am going to try to make Jesse play some of these at some point. Porgy is a solid A tier for me. It's almost S. It's almost S. But I wish that it wasn't so punishing with you having to, like, in the early game especially, it is so hard to just, like, finish an expedition before you start getting those tanks. So the early game's a little rough for me. And also the whole fucking thing just gives me anxiety. Just because of the whole, like, planning the expedition around having having air. But I still love it and had a lot of fun with it, so it's still A tier. It is definitely lower than that without the radar. Holy shit. But it's really close to an S for me. I liked it a lot. Onion Delivery is no longer... Onion Delivery was the first game, going through these chronologically, that I came out of not absolutely loving. I was kind of annoyed by Onion Delivery. So in terms of my personal enjoyment, it is a D tier. However, I don't think it's a bad game. And I did have some fun with it, so I'm gonna bump it to C. Getting some good curves and some good lines and, like, getting a feel for the driving and, you know, keeping your speed up. Pretty satisfying. Yeah, you do really just have to memorize the map. Which can be fun, because it's not a huge map, but it does fuck me up sometimes. No, like I said, there are some games that, like, I have to balance, like, how much did I like this versus how good of a game do I think it actually is, like, objectively. And there are some where the sentiment is going to be too strong. But Onion Delivery I played months ago. So, like, the annoyance of it has worn off a bit. And now I'm like, nah, it was fine. It was fine. Boy. Caramel might be the game that I remember the least in this whole collection. I remember what it is. It's Gradius, but you take pictures of things. Which is a super, super cool mechanic. Honestly? Not as well as you think. Honestly, not. Not really. I remember really liking it and thinking that its mechanics were good. But all of these games have really, like, left a significant impact on me. And Caramel's kind of there. I'm gonna C tier this one. I think that's a little low, because, like, I remember it being, like, B tier, even A tier enjoyment. But, like, none of it stuck with me. It, like, it went right out of my memory like junk food. Party House is an S tier. Shut up. Hotfoot, I think I liked Hotfoot more than most people. I do kind of mark out for sports games, and I thought it was interesting. But how much should I really like it? Some of it in the late game gets really fucked up and jank. No, I don't have these ordered by game. It's not like the left side of the tier is better than the right side of the tier. It's literally just chronological. I've done it before, but not for this. I'm having a hard time just separating them into 5 columns. Rows. I think I'm gonna C tier Hotfoot. I was gonna B tier it, but it wasn't that much fun. Having gone on to play games that like Hyper Contender, that are or Bushido Ball, which are like similar, you know, PvP type games. That's not one of the better ones. Like at all. I hear some people trash divers, and I get it. I thought the idea was weird and interesting and very atmospheric, but it did kind of annoy me, and it got very grindy and weird towards the end. Like, the late game of Divers was not fun. Rail Heist is a solid A. Not finishing it is part of the problem. Because it is a pretty interesting, decent time for a little while. But actually playing all of it, it gets a little tedious. Rail Heist is a solid A for me. It's one of those games where it is a solid concept, executed well. Play the RPGs in short bursts. I will absolutely admit that my opinions of these games, like, when you hear me talk about them, remember that I locked myself into each game and focused them down until they were done and would not allow myself to move on. That is how I played all of these games. Even Pilot Quest. Haha, yeah! Yeah, I didn't know about Pilot Quest until I got there. And since Pilot Quest is game number like 44 or 45, I was like, I'm in too deep! Fuck it, we're doing it! It's like I said, the D tier on this list is still like a 7 out of 10. I liked Divers, but the way that I have to look at this on a like grading on a scale is like, would I rather play Divers than any of the games on the list above it? And the answer is no, not really. Vanger fucking slaps! Vanger was so good. Vanger is probably a top 3. The cherry is bullshit. And I will not let that bring it down. Like, Vanger is a fucking Metroid-ass game, and it does the thing that I like, where it's clearly pulling from Metroid, Constantly hold up and down. Why? Maybe I'm not remembering. Oh, yeah. Yes, but you know what? Considering the type of game it was and how important verticality is, it's good they added that. It was annoying to have to wait for it, but, like, I would rather it have it than not. Rock on Island, I love a tower defense. But at the end of the day, it's just a tower defense. It's cool that your own character can, like, move around. And that's a neat little twist. I'll give it an A tier, because I did really enjoy it. I really, really enjoyed Rock on Island. The cherry was a grind, but that was one of those ones where the cherry was a grind, but it made me like it more. Because I had to, like, really perfect my strategies. And I actually enjoyed playing that more and getting better at it. I really enjoyed playing it, but, like, I don't know, would I have just as much fun playing, like, Bloons TD5? Probably. Yeah, the cherry's punishing, but I actually liked, kind of, like, perfecting my strategies and what I wanted to do with each of those. So I didn't mind. And that's part of the reason why it goes so high for me. Like, it doesn't do that much for me on the, like, innovation side. So it's kind of just a pretty solid tower defense. No, I feel that. I feel that when you're 20 minutes into the last level and every fucking square in the whole goddamn stage has, like, an upgraded unit on it and shit's still getting through because fuck you. No, I get it. I get it. I had my share of rage moments. Most of them off camera. The Rock on Island, I absolutely cherried off camera. Pin golf fucking owns. I do not care. That game got me so fucking hype. Every single fucking thing that I did in pin golf got me, like, screaming with excitement. Once you learn how to use the dunk ball button and all of the shit you can do with it and how it interacts with the physics, whoa, man. It's giving me fucking chills thinking about it. All right. That's a fair criticism. If there was another 18, I would love it more. But I still, like, I don't think I got more hype playing any game than pin golf, honestly. Pin golf kept me in a flow state because the more I played it, the more I learned about how the physics work and the types of shots I can pull off. And it got better the more of that shit that I did. So, like, my excitement and my skill level and the game's demand of me kept, like, all rising at the same level. And it kept me in a really good spot. This is a good one. I forget what this was from. Is this Star Waspir? Oh, it's Caramel Caramel. Close enough. Alright, I don't like Mortal 2 as much as Mortal 1, and I thought that I would. Honestly, I love some of what they're trying to go for. Some of the units are objectively way more useful and fun than the others. And I don't like the feeling that I ultimately get from Mortal 2, which is that doing well in it relies a great deal more on gaming the system than using the system. I'm not going to put Mortal 2 down a lot, but it does go a tier lower than 1. I'm almost tempted to give it B. But the interconnected map is really cool, so I'll keep it an A. There's two, like, true beat-em-ups in UFO 50. And one of them is only a beat-em-up 25% of the time. And Fist Hell is still worse. It's fun, but it's way too punishing. Now, Unlimited Continues makes it more fun to go through. But it's just too easy to get wombo comboed. Am I forgetting one? Because I'm also considering the Octavio sections in Cyber Owls. Yeah, like I said, 25% of it is a beat 'em up. Mind you, a very different type of beat 'em up, but still counts. Like, Final Fight is a beat 'em up, and Shatterhand is also a beat 'em up, in a way. I'm gonna give Fist Hell C. When you get good at it, though. Seaside? Fuck yeah. Fuck yes! God, the music in Seaside Drive slaps so hard. I thought it was pretty clever the way they use the different buttons to do different things. There's another game that... Oh, yeah, no, I remember what it was. We'll get there. Fist Hell's like a C+ tier for me. Yeah, the throw gets you just killed. I liked getting better at it, but it's a rough one to get into just because of how quickly the... Like, it can go off the rails so hard, so fast. And it gets really frustrating when you're just kind of getting... You're just kind of getting whopped around. I think Overbold is an S tier. I think Overbold is an S tier. I love the, like, Smash TV style of what they're going for. The risk-reward of it rules. The way you can upgrade is great. Like, everything about that just works. And the gameplay is, like, crazy simple. Crazy simple. You're like, there's not even scrolling. You're just in a box doing arena battles. But it kicks ass. Someone in Bushido Ball scored a point. Someone in Rail Heist escaped with money. Someone in Pin Golf completed their round. Yeah, Overbold fucking ruled. That is a game I actually would go back and play more of. I haven't yet, but like, I would boot this back up to do some more Overbold. That was super fun. It is a great title. It is a great title. 100%. Like, it sounds good. It's like the branding is there. Game fucking is what it says on the tin. Mwah! S tier all around. Really good. Campanella 2 is really cool. I do think it's S tier. If I had an S minus tier, I might put it in S minus. But I think that it's... Campanella 2 is like one of the most complete games in the collection. The way it's doing a little bit of Metroidvania, it's doing some Blaster Master. Like, it has all these different pieces that all fit together really well. I had a fucking hard time with it. It's really punishing. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that I had to get good at it. Fucking Mooncat. What the fuck is Mooncat? Can I, like... Wait, no. I don't know what else to do with it. I don't know. Mooncat tier, fuck it. I keep looking at it and I hear the music from it and I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna let Camp 2 live in S tier. I had a hard time with it just because it was challenging for me, but everything it was doing was good. Hang on. It's coming down to A tier. I just remembered the gut exists. Fuck that place. Nah, it's fine. Hyper Contender's an A for me. Oh, man! Just bless me with Party House. Yeah! Hyper Contender is super cool. Alright, bye, party house. There's so much going on with Hyper Contender. Like, you look at it as like, alright, we're doing a Smash-like. But there's, like, every character is so fucking weird. There is, like, one normal character, maybe two. And then everyone else is like, I only travel via an elevator. And there's the wolf who's like, I have to get close to melee you and I can't jump, but I can fucking drop bombs on the ground and they hurt you, but they make me jump. And then there's fucking, what the... Who's the one who looks like fucking Burger Pants from Undertale? And his name's like Bonko or something. Donkus! Fucking Donkus! It's a... It's an awesome cast of characters. No two characters are at all the same, which creates really, really interesting matchups. And the coin mechanic and the way that works means that, like, keep away is an equally valid strategy to, like, actually just going at it and fighting. I didn't play it for that long, but I saw the potential. And, like, I did the cherry, which is to go through with 4 different characters, and every one of those playthroughs was a completely... I might as well have been playing a different game entirely. And that's really cool that they make all those work together in the same environment. That being said, it's kind of jank, so it stays in A tier. Oh, fuck, Valbrace. Valbrace is hard for me because... Valbrace is hard for me because I played it wrong. There was so much magic and shit that I could have done in that game, and I just didn't. And it made the whole game more of a slog, but I recognize that it's my fault. The idea that you're doing like a traditional, like old school RPG first-person dungeon crawler, like Phantasy Star or the Shin Megami Tensei. And then you get into a fight and it's Punch-Out? Is that DS RPG The World Ends With You? 'Cause yeah, that... Oh, that's a fucking pull. I'm not even familiar with Arx Fatalis. That's a deep pull. Goodness. So, by the time I got to the end of Valbrace, it kinda does. The World Ends With You, if I recall correctly, and I didn't play all of it, but it has a whole thing where you're like tracing lines on the bottom and then you're doing button presses on the top. Or something like that. Cool. Then there's Trauma Center, where you just draw a star on the screen to stop time while you're performing surgery. I was really impressed with Valbrace, and everything that it did was really cool, but it kind of pissed me off sometimes, so I think I'm gonna leave it in A tier. I was gonna move it to B, but it doesn't deserve B. It doesn't deserve B. It's better than B. It's a really fun, interesting game. Man, Onion Delivery's music does slap, though. Yeah, it's higher than I was prepared to rate it. But again, I'm trying to pull back and be objective, and like, I think Valbrace is a great game. I made it harder on myself because I didn't engage properly with some of the systems it was offering me. That's not the game's fault. Like, it gave me some hell. And there were some frustrating aspects of it. I wish the random battle rate was, like, avoidable. But you know what? It probably was if I'd used items and magic correctly. So I think I think Valbrace is a better game than the one that I played when I played it. Rakshasa's so fucking cool. Rakshasa is so cool. I wish there was a little bit more depth to the combat. You kind of have your three weapon types, and that's more or less it. But that res mechanic, though. That res mechanic fucking carried. Yep. See? Exactly. That's why I have to bump it up higher than what I think it is. Cuz I absolutely know that there is just more shit in that game that I just didn't give it credit for, or I didn't do, or didn't give it credit for. And I still actually kind of had fun with it. I had a tradition when I started this channel where I played Super Ghouls and Ghosts for SNES every Halloween. Because that's one of those games that I grew up with, and everyone calls it like the hardest game ever on the SNES. And it's like, it is really hard, but I've got it under my fingers, so like I can just play it for fun once in a while. What is this? Oh, Rail Heist, yeah. It's still hard, and having to beat it twice is fucked. And also getting through it the second time with the bracelet is also fucked. But it is one of those types of games where, like, once you kind of know where to stand on certain things, it gets a lot easier. But when you grow up with it, and it's like one of the 4 or 5 games that you own, so you put hundreds of hours into it because there's nothing else you can do, and you get really, really good over the course of like 15 years, then yeah, you learn where all those spots are. Now, that being said, if I booted it up right now, I'd probably get my ass kicked because I'm rusty. But I can play it. Speaking of games that kicked my ass, Star Whisper fucking rules. Yeah, hang on, where are you at? We're going to the shelf. It's time for a shelf flex. Yeah, I played on this for a long time. This is actually my original copy that my dad got me when I was like 6. 6? That's not right. I'm not that old. 10? 9? Something like that. Yeah. No, the box art is a thing. It's a vibe. By the way, oh yeah, I turned 39 in like 2 weeks. Sorry, Taradin. By the way, also Flex, this is actually my original copy from childhood. This is the condition that it's in. Cause I be like that with my shit. I had this for like 30 years. But, you know, take care of your shit. Anyhow. Oh, wait, that's the wrong thing. Oh, man, I have a couple of games that I had earlier on in my life that I sold because I thought that was a good idea. Or traded in back during that era. And I didn't do it with a lot before I like talked myself out of it, but there's a couple that I did, like Bot and Kaitos for GameCube. Chatterhand got eBayed for some Texas Roadhouse. Oh, God. Oh, if you sold Shatterhand now, it would buy you so many. You could buy a Texas Roadhouse franchise. That's an exaggeration, obviously, but you could at least get a good steak. Oh, my God. Yeah, well, you know what? Nobody knew that the fucking used games market was gonna become like a cryptocurrency market with all its goddamn volatility and manipulation. We couldn't have possibly guessed. Star Wasp are really good. Kicked my ass. Loved that it kicked my ass. Was as hard as I felt it needed to be. Getting better and getting through each of those stages slowly was an absolutely transcendent experience. I regret nothing. Would play again. I definitely have a bunch of NES stuff from when I was a kid that just disappeared somewhere. It just disappeared. So, like, I don't know, like, my parents split up when I was younger. I don't know if my dad took it. I don't know if he pawned it or sold it or something. But I had a bunch of stuff. I had Final Fantasy 1. I had fucking... For some reason, I always remember, like, specifically that I had Rad Racer. I don't think anyone gives a fuck about Rad Racer, but I played a ton of it as a kid, and that is one of those games that I, like, remember specifically that I had on NES. But I have, like, 20 games. I specifically remember. It did, yes. And looking back on it now, it's like, wow, I guess that was the first Square Enix game that I played. Fuck. I also had RC Pro-Am, god damn it. I had Track and Field 2 also, which is a game with a lot of mashing. Oh, and fucking Double Dare, a game with more mashing. Grimstone's not my number one. Sorry. Grimstone was really good. I fucked myself up by picking a bad party, and I recognize that. However, in this case, it is the game's fault for allowing you to pick a fucked up party. But I still had a ton of fun with it. It got really frustrating and grindy towards the end. I really, really enjoyed it, but I think I have to drop it to A tier. Still great. Still love it. Great, like, awesome time. I played pre-patch and post-patch. They patched it while I was, like, literally in the mid-game. And then it got harder. But towards the end, we were doing really good damage, and I was happy with my build, but it was a struggle to get there at some points. Lots of running around, not knowing where to go, getting killed. Losing progress. Ultimately a positive experience, but definitely had some frustrating points. Jesus Christ, Knights of Disconia. I really liked that, but... Oh, thank you, Lords of Disconia. I've been pretty good about getting the names right, especially considering most of these games I haven't played in, like, 4 months. I don't know where I land on this one. It's not an S. It might be an A and it might be a B. I know, it was right there. It was fun, but there was just a lot of frustration to it. And also, the ability to just knock shit in the water was, like, maybe a little OP. The fact that I'm sitting here, like, nitpicking it and talking about negatives rather than positives makes me think that it is a B. I thought I liked it better than that, but... It somewhat had, like, the junk food... It kind of had the junk food, feeling. Where, like, I really enjoyed it while it was there, and then once it was gone, I forgot all about it, and it made no impact on me. Alright, yeah, Murder Mushroom time. I'm about to fuck all of you up right now. Night Manor is a good game. Just because I don't like it because it's a horror game does not change the fact that it is a good game. It's constructed well, the interactions are interesting, the art is good, the solutions are generally pretty solid. I will grant it C tier. It's not going higher than that. It's not going any higher than that. but I can't put it in D tier. It's actually good. It's legitimately really decent. Now, hard caveat, like, it's also a point-and-click adventure. So, for a general audience, that's going to skim a lot of you off the top in terms of, like, whether you can even tolerate playing a game like that. I didn't mind it being a point-and-click as much as I minded it being a horror game. Yeah, I think that's fair, Sadie. If I was judging it solely on, like, objective quality rather than objective quality combined with personal enjoyment, I would probably also put it at B. But personal enjoyment was D, and intrinsic quality was a B, so it's C tier. Elphazar's hat is, like, a B tier. I don't feel strongly one way or another about this, and remember almost nothing that happened after the first stage. It's fun. Pocky and Rocky-like. It was neat. A little too easy. Yeah. It's cute. Very cute. Have good packing, Sadie. Thanks for dropping in. I'm proud of you. Pilot Quest almost deserves its own tier again. Because it's impossible to judge it properly when you play it so wrong. I objectively am aware that I fucked that up. Like, the way that I played through Pilot Quest is the exact wrong way to play through Pilot Quest. Like, it is so not... The cops are here. It's so not made for that. Pilot Quest and Mooncat tier. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna give Pilot Quest A tier. I think it is actually an S tier if you play it properly. If you play it as an idle game and you let it rock, and you just go in when you got stuff and you just, like, let it go the way you're supposed to, it's probably an S tier. It's probably a high S tier. That's not what I did, and I still kind of liked it kind of a lot. Now, I will say also, from a personal perspective, I don't love waiting for my games. The music is good, too. I've not really... For a lot of these, I have not really been, I've never really been considering music, unless, like Vanger, the music really, really pops out for me. Warp Tank, too. Ooh! And Seaside Drive, also. Even idle games, like, on my phone, I don't like to play as idle games. Like, when it's time to play, it's time to play. I want to sit down and play. It is time to play. So the idle game concept in general is kind of a turnoff for me. But despite all of that, I still actually had a pretty fucking fun time with it. Especially once I stopped leaving the base with one food. But again, that requires you to actually, like, wait. you're both right. Like, if the game wants me to stop, and that's the best way that I can progress in the game is to stop playing for a while, I don't like that. However, in a situation where the game just kind of keeps running because it's part of a collection and it'll run in the background, that's kind of dope. That is actually really cool. I think A tier is the right place for it, considering all that. Mini and Max, I did not like as much as a lot of people in the community told me I would, or told me that they did. There were some frustrating kind of walk around not knowing where to go moments in that. And having said that, it's still an S tier. It's still an S tier. The jaw drop of shrinking down the second time and fighting fucking molecules and shit, where like every goddamn tile of the map is a screen and then every tile of that map is another screen, is fucking mind-blowing. Like, insanely intelligent. Now, on the tiny map, on the tiny map, the degree to which the level design is a little copy-paste does annoy me. Like, you can walk through a bunch of those stages and a bunch of them look basically the same. But at the same time, just walking around, you get power-ups and shit. You get heart containers. You get new abilities. You get double jumps. Like, I'm stuck here because yeah, the cameos are also good, especially if, like me, you've played them all in order up to this point, so you kind of know what you're looking at. Yeah, it's still S tier. It's not like my number one. It's not my number one. I'm not even sure if it's top 3 or top 5, but I do love it. Also, fuck yeah, Pilot Quest. If you gotta idle around at your base, so hard. I love the idea of Mini and Max more than I like the idea of actually playing, more than I liked actually playing it. And really, like, exploring blindly doesn't usually do it for me. But Mini and Max did such a good job of making exploring blindly really rewarding that it was fun to do even when I didn't know where the fuck I was going. But I do wish that I knew where I was going more than I did. Moving on, D tier. I think Combat Ants is maybe... I think it's the only game that just isn't good. It, like, actually isn't good. Everything else has been a matter of preference. Yeah, I agree with that, Taranin. I agree with that. I need a little bit of limitation. I liked Combat Ants a little bit better when I started to understand that the idea, or at least like maybe I just imprinted this as like copium. But the whole thing started to feel towards the end like, oh, this is Kusoge, and the conceit here is more about gaming the system and the AI. And, like, using exploits to get through what is ultimately kind of an unfair game. And looking at it through that lens makes it better. That makes it a lot more fun, because I do have a soft spot for going through games, and, I have a soft spot for games that are, like, imperfect, but you can kind of just jank your way through. And I feel like Combat Ants is almost geared specifically at that, but I don't know if it's doing that on purpose or if it's just busted. Because there's a game in there that is also, like, actually really balanced and fun and responsive that could also be good. And I don't know which of those things is the intent, because it's kind of in the middle. Also, it's so slow. Yeah, my understanding is Combat Ants is when the company was bought out, and and then immediately the next two games that happened were God, Seaside Drive does it to me every time. So Combat Ants, which was like busted and bad, and then Quibble Race, which is about gambling. Quibble Race is a hard S. Love me some Salty Bet. Racing with cheating and there being like a whole, like, almost rock, paper, scissors thing for me, like, kicked ass. Love that shit. Seaside Drive, I like, as long as we're listening to the music, throw that shit up there too. Seaside Drive is super fun to play and has probably the best top to bottom soundtrack. I mean, there's only like 5 songs in that game. Maybe 4? But they are all fucking great. I'm gonna give Camp 3 A tier. It's cool. I do like that all 3 of the Campanella games are, like, distinctly different from each other. But it's mostly A tier because... If you know, you know. VR, I could see that. I could see Campanella 3 as a fucking Virtual Boy game. I just felt my throat seize up, which means that I'm talking too much and too loud. So I have to give this a... We're gonna put these last 2 on the tier list and close the book on this. Absolutely could be a Virtual Boy game. 100%. 100%. Cyber Owls is so fucking dope. It's so, like, that game was a fucking experience. Going into it and thinking you're getting like a Shatterhand or like Ninja Turtles style, just like action beat 'em up type of game. And then it turns out you got 4 different games and they all touch on something that you know and love. Fuck yeah. Oh, yeah. What a great send-off. Yeah, and I was trying, like, I went into this with the idea of, like, man, I want these to be more or less even because I am kind of grading on a tier, on a curve. I'm kind of grading on a curve where, like, the D tier is not these games suck. Even combatants close. But even that, like, has its charm. So, like, it's all relative. It's really all relative. I legitimately loved almost all of these games. I can count on one hand the number that I was, like, not enjoying at any point. One of them is in our ears right now. Honestly, like, Big Bell Race didn't even suck necessarily. It just was so short, and like, the experience was just so thin that it barely warrants mentioning. It was fun to play, but I was done with it in 10 minutes and then moved on, and there was, like, it was quite clear there was just nothing else to do with it. So it's like, that could literally have been a game mode or a mini game in another game. I also like Tofu, but point taken. The bonus game in Alphazar's hat has more going for it than the entirety of Big Bell Race. And finally, Miasma Tower. As a game, like, it's not anything special. Kind of just a story-driven, I hate to use the word walking simulator. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, Caramel. Fuck. Getting bumped to beat for the soundtrack. I forgot, but... No, they all are good, though. So, the experience of playing Miasma Tower itself, in terms of the in-game thing, so-so. However, the experience as a whole, as a send-off for the collection, reliving the games, having, like, going through the whole scavenger hunt, like, finding all of that, the fact that it exists at all, the whole thing, the weird fucking, like, off-putting, like, earthboundy, like, art style of the whole thing, I gotta S-tier it. I gotta S-tier it. Like, it's not an incredible game to play, but the experience is incredible. And it's a perfect capstone to all of this shit. Oh, shit. That actually reminds me, I still need to play Erdtree. Someday. Not this day. This day, I'm gonna revel in finally finishing a stream before midnight. And let me just look over at my Steam account real quick. It's a fucking cherry pie right there. Don't take that out of context. I am also glad you were here for most of the games. It was a delight to have you. Understandable if you were mostly just here for the UFOing, but you know, don't be a stranger. We're gonna keep doing other stuff. I am gonna be caught up in a Yakuza game for the next couple of months, but we're still gonna do the retro game stuff. I'm probably gonna play Mega Man X5 tomorrow. I appreciate that people are different. Some people are here for the game. Some people are here for the people. Some people go to look for the game and then find the person. So, not gonna think any less of you if I see you around a little less once I'm playing stuff that isn't as much in your wheelhouse. But man, I will say it again. The experience of playing cool indie games like this and the communities that they bring in and the people that I meet from doing them, it always fucking rules. As good as the games are, the people that I meet through them tend to be even better. And this is no exception. I am in my feels right now. Shit. Oh, I know! Now that I've finished playing all the games, it's time to rate Okami of Games, who is currently playing all of the games. And I believe Okami, because Okami has, like, that competitive streak in him, I believe he is also going through the games in chronological order, except someone clued him the fuck in on Pilot Quest. So he's doing all of the games in chronological order the same way, except he popped Pilot Quest open immediately. And I was like, at the time, when I saw the list of games, and he's got like 1, 2, 3, 4 up along the top row, and then there's one popped in on the bottom row, I'm like, that's deeply unsatisfying, and I hate that you did that. And then like a week later, I opened Pilot Quest, and I was like, oh, fuck! So now I get it. I might be interested in doing that. I might. I'm not ready to say goodbye to this whole thing. I am for a bit. I'm good to take some time off and do some other things for now, because this has been like my whole life for like 4 or 5 months. But I might play some bingo. We'll see. I'll talk to you about it later. Everyone have a good night. Thank you for being here for this. I love you.